ranking all 49 hyperchargers, but with a twist. You see, I know this guy named SpenLC, and it just so happened that he already did this, so I thought, how about I, a pretty bad player at this game, rank all 49 of them, and then at the end of the video, I compare my ranking to his, because I feel like they're gonna be completely different. Above all else, go subscribe to SpenLC, because he did this first. Subscribe to him, or I will never oil up. Anyway, we're gonna go in order here. I have every brawler who doesn't have a hypercharge on this part right here. Starting out with Shelly, it just makes her super larger. That's really all it does, I believe, so I don't really think this one is that good. Right off the bat, I think I'm gonna put her probably in like C tier. Next up, we have Nita. It makes her bear larger, it makes it faster, it gives it more health. Overall, I think this is a really broken ability. I'm not sure how she's doing with it in the current meta, but like, I feel like as long as she has this now and the map isn't horrible for her, then it's like a really good ability. So with that said, I'm gonna put it in like A tier. So now we have Colt, and he's like an overall good brawler, but I'm kind of ranking these based on the ability itself, and I'm not sure if his is like that great. I mean, it just makes his super a little bit wider, but does that really make it like that much better? I don't really think so. Maybe I'm crazy for this, but I'm gonna put it in Shelly with C tier. I think it could have been a little bit cooler. So now we have Bull, and unless you are Pika, like the Bull player in this world, this is probably like C tier. There's only one human being in this entire world who can really make good use out of this ability, because you get like the shield. If you are Pika, then it's S tier. If you're not, then I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is probably also a C tier. I don't know. So now we have Brock, and we all know how bad this one used to be, but it got buffed like a million times, and now it finally does more damage than his actual super, so it's actually pretty useful. So if I use it on this robot right here, it should do a lot of damage. Yeah, like that is well more than his normal super would do. Look at that damage. That's actually insane. I'm kind of wanting to put it in A tier, but I don't know. Like, it does so much damage, so I guess I'll put it up there. So now we got El Primo, and his hypercharge was a lot better in the Brawl Talk. I know I say this every time, but in the Brawl Talk, it was so much better because his super would become larger. It's like a kind of a Tara super almost, because it also pulls things in. But yeah, that's what it does. It just pulls things into him, which is good. It's obviously the opposite of what it normally does, and you don't want to push somebody away with it, but I don't think it's like that incredible, because that's all it does. But it's not like bad, so I'm gonna probably put it B tier. I don't really know about Barley because I don't play this brawler and I don't play ranked, so I never see this brawler. However, his hypercharge just makes his super absolutely massive. Like, that is huge, but I highly doubt it's like the best one in the game, so I'm gonna go on a whim, put it in B tier with El Primo. So I've heard that Poco's is actually pretty bad, which really sucks because I love the ability. I think the problem with it is that it only overshields you if you already are at full HP. So if you don't even get like full HP off of this, then you're not gonna get overshielded, which really sucks. So I'm gonna go with what people are saying here and probably put it in C tier. And I think the way they could fix it is just by making it give the overshield no matter what. Maybe that would make it broken. Then they could just lower how much it overshields you. Now we have Rosa, and I feel like hers is actually pretty good. Like, a slowing field on a brawler like Rosa is kind of abusive. So all things considered, it's a very simple one, but like, I gotta throw that probably in A tier. Jessie's is pretty similar to Nita's. It gives her turret more health, probably more damage. This thing sucks at hitting things, but yeah, it just makes her turret a bit better. Most of the time, I see this turret dying within 3 seconds anyways, so part of me kind of wants to put it in B tier. I might raise it up later, but it'll be in B tier for now. So I know that Dynamite has kind of fallen off recently, but like, when his hypercharge came out, dude, this thing was breaking the game, and they didn't really even change it. I don't see a reason why a hypercharge that one-shots almost everybody in the game would not be S tier. So I honestly am not sure about ticks. I mean, it definitely helps the tick head get to people, but I think the problem with it is that it's one of those that pushes people away from its actual ability, which is landing the mines on the ground. They do a lot of damage, which is good, but I feel like if you're fighting somebody who has like 2 brain cells, then they're just gonna walk away from it, and the hypercharge isn't really doing anything. I don't think it's the worst in the world, but I'm probably gonna put it C tier. Also, I just realized this says new. Let me fix that. So now we have 8-bit, and this one's a little bit confusing because it defends his turret. It doesn't do that much damage, I won't lie. That is really baby damage. But it's like a little Jessie turret, and it has decent range too. But the problem is, dude, I made a video using this, and I put it in a spot where like it would actually shoot my enemies, and I got flamed for putting it in a spot where it would shoot my enemies. Like, if I don't put it out in the open somewhere, then a thrower is just going to kill it, and the hypercharge is useless. I'm gonna go ahead and put 8-bits in C tier as well. D tier and F tier are lacking, which is not exactly a bad thing. I'm honestly not sure about Rico's. I know that it makes his balls bounce all over the place, but it's not nearly as good as his mutation, which was broken. But I mean, it's kind of far. I've never seen anybody do like a crazy play with it though. So for that reason, I'm probably gonna go ahead and put it in like B tier. because I don't think it's really worse than any of these down here. So up next is Daryl's, and like, call it a skill issue, I guess, but it doesn't really seem to do that much damage, like, at all. I don't really see it doing much of anything, but it's not utterly useless like a few on this list, so I'll put it in D tier. Now we got Penny, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these hypercharges in the last update are kind of dog water. Like, I do not think that this one is that good because like the counter to it is just walking the same way that you would normally dodge her turret. Like, if you are getting hit by her turret, you're getting screwed over anyways, you're dead. But with the hypercharge turret, you just die a bit faster if you're somehow getting hit by it. I know it's good for like siege, but that's not a permanent mode, and like I don't really see her being played in Heist either. I don't know. Where do you play Penny? Not useless, but it's really easy to counter, so D tier. I'll be honest, I feel like Jackie's is just kind of a worse version of Rosa's. It slows people when you super them, and that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy, but I mean, a slow is a slow, and I guess I can put that in C tier, or maybe even B tier, I'm not too sure. And now we have M's, and I'll be honest, I don't think I have ever seen anybody use this ability. Every match I've played, every video I've watched, I do not see people use this where it like deals damage and stuff when you use her super. I just don't see it. Plus, you can only get one super out of it, so you can't cycle supers. I don't know, bro. Does it really do that much damage? It does push enemies, which is good. I forgot about that at first, but now I remembered. That doesn't change the fact that I've never seen anybody use it, but I feel like I could easily put this in like B tier, just objectively. Now we have Stu, and I do not see a world where this is not overpowered. It's literally his mutation through and through. You can get infinite healing. It is quite literally infinite supers that is broken. Let's just take that on up here next to Dynamite. Piper's might be the weirdest hypercharge in the game because it completely flips her character. She goes from a sniper to being an assassin. You want to jump on people with this ability. It's so weird. It makes her jump faster, so like another incentive to go up to people. You push them really far back, so I guess that does lean into her sniper thing. It's cool and it's good. Kind of considering putting in an S tier because of how many people get really good plays with it. Like, I'm sure you've also done it. This is really good for making plays, so I'm gonna put it up there. So now we have Frank, and bro, just like look at this. Oh wow, it didn't even hit them. I was like trying to make a point, but still, it's huge. You can't really dodge that unless you have an invincible wall or you figure out the like curveball thing to it where there's like little gaps. It's gonna be at least A for me, but like maybe S. I'll put it in A for now. So now we have BBs, and it's one of those classic like give you 2 supers type things. So if you hit somebody with a bubble, it puts another one out there. Pretty cool. I'm not sure if it's like the most broken thing in the game though, so I will go B tier with that one right there. Okay, we got our first dog water hypercharge of the video. Not only does it use your entire hypercharge duration if you use your super right away, which you shouldn't, but it doesn't really do anything. The most it does is add more damage and make it easier to hit walls. Like, it also makes it easier to hit people, but like if you're a good Nani player, then you don't need that. This one achieves almost nothing, and sometimes it nerfs you, so F tier. Okay, I might get flamed for this because I don't exactly know, but I feel like Edgar's makes him borderline invincible. Edgar's entire game plan is jump in and try to win the matchup, and this just makes him win so many more matchups. So like objectively, I just feel like it's good in the sense where you get more supers, you can jump around more, but also like all of your stuff gets increased in some way. I could be saying a bunch of nonsense here, but like I think it's good. On a brawler who just goes in to like mash auto aim, making him better at doing that, I mean, that could be S tier. Now we have Gale. We are seeing this one absolutely everywhere. It's super broken, does a ton of damage. They've nerfed it, I think, multiple times now. It was bugged. Still though, after every change, it is still an amazing ability. That right there is an easy S tier as well. And just because of that, actually, I'm gonna move Edgar's down because it's not nearly as good as Gale. Now we got Colette. And if we're talking Heist, this is like S plus a million tier. This thing shreds the safe. I think it does like 20,000 damage in total, something crazy like that. It's a really good ability. It's also just good at killing people, and even if you die during your super, your shadow still goes through, which could like make a play. Overall, pretty good ability. I think I'll put that one in S tier. I don't know, maybe I'm throwing too many S tiers in there. All right, we got Belle's hypercharge. All this does is makes it home in, and to be fair, it homes in really well. I actually find a lot of use out of this where you can just kind of willy-nilly auto aim your super and it will hit somebody like 90% of the time, which is actually pretty good. I know everybody clowned on this one at first, including me, but it kind of warmed up to me. Not that much though. I still think it's like C tier. Maisie's hypercharge is really hit or miss because you actually have to be like a good player to use it. It just shoots everything out like in a spike orientation. So you hit them with your super, and you can also hit them with like the little energy bolts. I don't even know what you call them, but like it could be good, especially if you hit them with like your super, then that, and also your own main attack, like they're dead. I do think it's really good, and it's one of the things that actually makes her a good brawler half the time, so I think that could be A tier. Another completely useless one here, we got pearls, and it does do decent damage, I will say that, especially if you have high heat, but it just pushes people out of the radius unless you're a giant robot like that, but like also you could just walk out of it. It does not work with her ability at all. I don't know why her super works against the hypercharge. It should at least make people go into it, you know, or at least have that circle follow them, or anything besides it just being there in a spot where you push them out of it. I do not get it. This one is so useless. I don't understand the idea behind it. Pearls, easy F tier. Angelo's had some drama with it because at first I know it took forever to get, but like it brings the super with you. I feel like that's gotta be insane, especially with the star power that heals you. That is free healing for a while, and poison damage and extra damage everywhere you go. You can't tell me that's a bad ability, but the fact that it might take forever to get is kind of a problem. So I want to test it here. Like, how many arrows does it take to get this thing? Oh yeah, no, this is really bad. It still takes forever to get. Like, when are you ever gonna see this ability, bro? Well, this is also without using poison. Oh no, the poison doesn't even add on to it. That is so bad. Just because of how long it takes to get, I'm putting this in C tier. If you got it like any amount faster, bro, it would probably be in like A tier or S tier. Now we have a very broken hypercharge. Everybody knows this. Everybody kind of hates it. It just makes Mortis's super a boomerang. It does so much damage, bro. So much healing. It basically turns him into a Brawl god. I don't think more needs to be said. We're putting that straight up in S tier. Okay, I will be for real on Jaw. I don't think Tara's hypercharge is that good. Here is her super before. It is already very big, and then with the hypercharge, to be fair, it's like decently bigger, but I don't know if that's really what it needs. So I'm gonna slap that, maybe not D tier, but like C tier. All right, another hypercharge that nerfs the super. So let's look at Jean's super before hypercharge. See how long that takes to pull them in? You actually want it to take longer to pull somebody in because while it's pulling them in, you can shoot them and they're technically stunned while they're being pulled in. But with the hypercharge, it pulls them in a lot faster and they are done being stunned like 2 or 3 times faster. That is really bad. Not only that, but like if you don't have a Shelly next to you, you're gonna get killed when you pull 2 people in. So another easy F tier. Max's is really good. Not only do you go super fast, but it gives teammates the speed when they're really far away from you. Overall, pretty good ability. I think that would be at least A tier, so I'll put it up here for now. This one doesn't exactly nerf Sprout in any way, but it does not do anything. It does help on a heist safe, but if you are playing Sprout in heist, what are you doing? That is the question. All it does is it does damage if you stand like directly on top of it, like Hank star power style, bro. You have to be really close. It's in that like loop that's usually covered by the wall itself. I think they just have to change this one, so that is F tier. Now we got Squeaks, and I don't really know how to feel about it. It is just 2 supers, which is pretty good. But I feel like you gotta be kind of bad to get hit by this. It takes so long to come out, or you have to be really good at using it to get value. It's like either or. Still though, I don't really think it's amazing, so like maybe C tier, D tier even? I don't know. I might actually move Bulza D tier because like not only do you have to be an insane player to get any value out of it, but like are other good players really gonna let you do that consistently? I don't really know. Lou's hypercharge is insane. I feel like a stun off rip is just broken, plus then you can just do it again with your gadget. I didn't have the right gadget on, but you get my point. This is CC Central. For that reason, that is going up in S tier. So Ruff's hypercharge, not only does it make his artillery do more damage, but it also just gives you a hypercharge when you pick it back up. Now, you shouldn't do what I do and just pick it back up for yourself. You should give it to a teammate whose hypercharge takes forever to get, or they just have a good hypercharge. It's a double whammy. They get the power up and then they get their hypercharge, which then they can use the power up to get more damage with their hypercharge. It's gotta be good, right? I don't know if people are seeing it yet, but I do think that this will be like one of the best ones in the game forever if it gives them their entire hypercharge every time. So Buzzes used to be good because you could like infinitely stun people, but it's really easy to whiff with this now because you have to like hit a wall to get it back. It's more so for mobility, which is good. It's not like the worst in the game, so I'd probably put that like maybe C tier as well. Possibly B tier though, I'm not sure. Now we have Fangs. It lets his super go through walls, which was one of his biggest weaknesses. And also it drops popcorn along the way. Pretty good. The popcorn does decent damage if people are not aware about it. And going through walls obviously really good. It gives him more damage. It lets him get fresh kicks easier. For some reason, this one has kind of fallen off. I don't really know what they did, but I'll put it in A tier instead of S tier because of that. So now we have Otis's, and this one is actually bugged, so it doesn't really work properly. However, I'm going to rank this assuming the bug gets fixed, and the bug is basically it doesn't like actually stun people. So if like a Carl is supering in on you, it will not cancel his super. Therefore, like the stun is kind of a silence that stops you from moving sometimes. Assuming they fix it and it actually stuns people, then I'll put that probably in like A tier. That is the freest kill in the entire world, bro. Like his super's already a free kill, but this is a free annihilation. Now we have Charlie. Hers is not amazing. It does not nerf her super, but I feel like they could have done better with it. It just spawns spiders. Even if you do not hit the super, I'm pretty sure they still spawn. I kind of wish it would stack with the gadget, so then like if you use your gadget, it wouldn't just delete the hypercharge ones. But yeah, all things considered, probably D tier. So Miko's does not nerf his super, but you need to be really specific about it. You have to get like all of your ammo in, and then you should jump, because then you can get like the most use out of his hypercharge. And obviously it stuns enemies when he lands, which is really good for securing kills after the fact. So not that bad. Honestly, I think it's kind of good because like the damage he gets from it is obviously going to help him clear a ton of kills. And if you're using it properly, then you will stun people, and that is like another free kill. So low key, I think it's B tier. I think people sleep on this. Now we got Spike. This one's kind of boring. It just makes the super a bit larger. It's good though. It does decent damage, and especially paired with the mythic gear, it is just really good. But I don't think it's S tier, so I'll put it in A tier. Even that could be a stretch though. Now we got Crows. It's really good against a heist safe, but like against players, not all that much. It's pretty much Mortis's, but worse. So take that as you will. I think I'll put Crows in like probably B tier, maybe A tier, but it does take a while to get. But they did buff that, so I don't know. I guess I'll slap it in A tier for now, just because of what it can do to a heist safe. Now we got Leon's. I don't really see people talking about this anymore, but the fact that he can shoot while invisible is just kind of ridiculous, especially when he has like the most broken star powers in the game. They give him like super speed or infinite health. It's insane. That's probably an easy S tier. Now we got Sandy's, and from personal use, I think that this one is crazy. Not only does it stun people for a little bit, which is pretty good, or maybe it just silences them, I'm not sure, but the speed that you get as Sandy inside of this thing is wild. You can make some insane plays with it. So from my personal experience, I'm gonna put it in S tier. Speaking of crazy, we have surges, and like getting level 5 off rip is insane, because level 5, look at this range just off the screen, and then it spreads like crazy. You only level up once from it, which I actually thought you kept the levels. You do not, but like that thing is a killing machine while it's active, bro. I think I'm gonna put that one in S tier as well. That is a brawler shredder. Now we have Cordelius's, and it just gives you even more of an advantage in the Shadow Realm. Like you already have a pretty sizable advantage in there, but like it slowing enemies down is not that bad. Like obviously you're gonna get a way easier kill. They're almost like guaranteed to die. So honestly, you could say it's similar to Otis, and for that reason, I'm going to put it right next to Otis. But yeah, here is my entire list. I'm just gonna slowly scroll it down for you guys so then you can see all the tiers. Only 4 in F tier, and we have a lot in S tier, also a lot in A tier. Those are the only 2 rows that have multiple rows on them. The rest of them, they just kind of get smaller as we go down. But now I'm curious what Spen has to say. If you have not watched his video already, then go watch it after this one, or go watch it before this ending. I just want to know what he's saying, because I feel like it's kind of funny for the video. I'm going to compare the F tier and the S tier. So in S tier, he has Gale, which I have. Rico is insane to me. I didn't know it was that good. Surge, which I also have. I put Max in A tier. I have Dynamite in there. I put Frank in A tier. I think I mentioned that it could be S though. Maybe I should have put it up there. And we got Leon, Mortis, Ruffs, and Penny's in S tier. That's crazy, right? Like maybe I'm missing something, but like if you just kind of walk, then it's not gonna hit you, bro. I don't know what I'm missing with that one. I guess I'm underrating it like crazy, bro, because I put that one all the way down in D tier, and I can see why like Colette's wouldn't be S tier or Piper's, because they're kind of specific with how you use them. I am a little surprised that Stu is not in S tier, because like it's a mutation and it's broken, but he put it in an A tier anyways. His F tier has Brock, which is crazy because now it's actually better than his normal super. I don't know why it's still down there. I'll have to actually watch his video and listen to what he's saying. Maybe it's still just a bad ability. I don't know. I put that one in A tier. That was kind of off a whim though. I wasn't really sure because I haven't really used it. And in F tier, he also has Poco, which I put in C tier because I like it. I want it to be good. Then he has Nani, which makes sense. He has Sprout, which also makes sense. He has Pearl, obviously. but then he has Miko. And I put Miko's in B tier because I feel like at the end of the day, it lets him secure kills a lot easier. And then you also get a free stun after the fact. I feel like if you're using his super at the start of the hypercharge, then it's F tier. But if you're like playing smart, then it should not be F tier. I don't know though. Spen is the pro. I am not. He is father. I am not. He is Hank Milk. I am not. I'm honestly surprised to see Gene in D tier because like that straight up nerfs his super in every way. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Spen's video. If you want a pros POV, go watch his video. We agreed on a lot of things, but then kind of disagreed on some other ones. And I'm glad to see that Daryl's is in D tier because I saw so many people trying to justify that one saying it's good, bro. It's not. It's really bad. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Subscribe, slap a like, go watch Spen LC, and I'll see you later. Have a good night.